Animation on PowerPoint is when something specific moves. So a transition is when the entire slide moves. For PowerPoint, it's when a specific item moves on a slide. To do an animation, the first thing you have to do is tell PowerPoint what item you want to move. So if I want this picture to move here, I'm going to click on it. Once I have that selected, I can go to animations. Notice if I don't have anything clicked on, everything is going to be grayed out. You're not going to be able to click on anything. That's because I haven't selected anything. So I have to make sure I select the item first. Once I've selected the item, again, I can choose any of these that I would like, and I can simply click on the one that I want, and it will put it in. Notice that this put in a number 1. That means that this is happening first. Our general rule for PowerPoint is that each item should only move one time. So if I have this picture moving once, it should not move again. If I want to get rid of that, all I need to do is click on the one and hit delete. That will get rid of it, and then I can put in something else that I might like better. Okay, so maybe I have that for my picture. Maybe for my title, I do a checkerboard, and maybe for my, I'm not quite sure why this keeps moving, for my name, maybe I do a spin. Notice when I do that over here, these 3 items show up in this pane bar. This tells me the order in which things are happening. If I want to reorder it, I can simply click on it and hit the arrow button, and that will reorder the items, and you can see that they are moving accordingly. There are also some effect options in here, some timing options. Again, I suggest leaving it on click. That just makes it a little bit easier for us teachers to be able to grade your presentations. So I would suggest leaving it on click. There are also some other pieces that you need to be aware of. If I was to go ahead and click and let's say put another bullet point on. And so I have a couple of sentences here. If I was to click and choose, let's say, a exit effect, let's say I choose, let's do this bounce one. You can see that right now, they both are going one at a time. You can see it says number 1 and number 2. So if I just click on the text box itself, this is how it will animate out. However, it could be that you have a situation where you want everything to come in at once. If you highlight it and then go in and do it, you can see that this time they both go at the same point. And they both are, it's denoted with a number 1 next to both of them, meaning they're both happening at the same time. So again, if you click on the text box, each one will go individually. If you highlight the text, that will make them happen at the exact same time. Now there are some path animations here. If you are choosing a path animation, one of the important things you want to remember is you do not want any of your text to overlap. So if I was to do, let's say, a shape, like a special curve, there's nothing wrong with that. That is totally fine. You just want to make sure that it doesn't overlap. So if I was to get rid of these, let's say, and come in here and let's just highlight these for this example. And I do this special curve, no problem. They don't overlap, not a problem. What would be a problem though is if all of a sudden I come up here and I do something like this where my text is overlapping my other text. This is what we want to try to avoid. So if you're going to do something like that, no problem at all. You want to make sure though that when you play it, it stays on the screen, nothing is overlapping. You don't have something that's half on and half off of the screen. You want to make sure that it's easy to read and that, again, we're really looking at, is this helping our audience make the presentation interesting, easy to read, and well balanced, which is why we only do one animation per piece. We don't need these sentences to move 5 times. If they move 1 time, that is more than enough. So just kind of keep that in mind when you are selecting your animations, that you really want to make sure that you are sticking to those general rules and thinking about your audience.